To our new podcast. And this podcast is really about featuring a demo of an innovator. I'm very much a person who loves to give the platform to companies, the individuals to showcase their products and things like that. So FinTech Lenka has really grown significantly, and since August we've somehow managed to have 1,300 plus subscribers, and it's increasing in that sense. So it's a great platform to showcase various software, especially new ones, which is I'm really passionate about. So today we've got Simon Ritchie, and Simon Ritchie, as you know, we did a very nice podcast about his career journey, but today is about a demo of Blox, and Blox really has a lot of interesting features and stuff, and it's going to use AI, which is really interesting. So Simon, it's over to you.
Fantastic. Hello, everybody. It's great to be back. And thanks, Tim, for letting me be the first in this new format, which is very exciting. Very much delighted to get a chance to share a bit about what we're doing at Blox and what our vision and our mission is all about. Let me just get my screen sharing, and then we can get going.
Thank you.
All right. So what we're about at Blox is helping to supercharge financial planning and modeling for businesses. We help finance teams that have outgrown a spreadsheet. And really what that can actually happen anytime. You could be a small business and you're just frustrated with spreadsheets, and so you want to get away from them. Or what I tend to see is that as businesses grow, they have to hire more and more people to keep the spreadsheets alive. And so we help with businesses that want to do really great planning, but without struggling with spreadsheets. And our focus is helping in that space before you're ready to adopt an enterprise level EPM, or enterprise performance management solution. My background is in finance. My background is working with EPM softwares like IBM's TM1 product. I worked at Anaplan for a number of years. So I've helped a number of companies with planning and implement their EPM solutions. And I just saw so much that you could have an EPM system in the center, which is great for adding up numbers, but different parts of the business will often struggle to actually do meaningful planning for their part of the business, to have their own key KPIs, their own metrics, and to run their own number. So what you end up with is an EPM in the center, everyone running spreadsheets around the edge, and you're still in like a lot of spreadsheet chaos. So that's what we're about to do. This is Blox on our website. You can jump in. We actually allow you to sign up, get started. We've got a free user account, so you can come and play around. I'm just going to jump quickly around in Blox to show you some of the key things. The idea is that you could start from a pre-built model that we've got here on the website. So we've got models for different size companies, startups, growing businesses, workforce planning, marketing planning, all sorts. And we've got more coming, and we're working with partners to add more all the time. So you could just click on one of these, click the Try It Now button, and we'll jump you straight into Blox, where you can click around and you can sign up for a single user account that's free if you want to. For the demo today, what I want to show you, so this is the library. So you can start from the library. You don't have to start from scratch. Then what I want to do is jump into a model that we've got and show you around how you would actually build out a plan and how you could extend or adjust this model to work for your business. So Blox itself is it's a planning platform. So we've built our own proprietary modeling engine. I've worked on a number of different engines as a consultant and in the software company. So we actually had I had a dream and a desire that just didn't feel like there were as an engine that worked really well, that handled sparsity and scale and it was flexible and easy to adjust and change to deal with what we see a lot in planning, to deal with driver-based planning and lots of different planning scenarios that I've seen. So here we are in a model. This model is quite simple. It's just got 6 different blocks, and it works for a design agency. So imagine it's a design agency. They're running hundreds of projects across 5 different global studios. So we've got project services revenue, we've got employee costs, some high-level people costs, and we've got a summary P&L. So those are the main areas of the model. I can easily adjust whether I want to plan monthly or yearly, how long I want to plan, when I want to start the model from, and the currency. So that's really easy to change. And then within a model, I believe in a multi-dimensional approach is a great way to do planning, especially for businesses. So you can build dimensions, which is a very similar concept. So you can have projects, you can have a standard set of client, employees, locations, etc. And that's a great way to standardize your data and make it so that everyone that's building models is working from a central source of truth, a central set of dimensions and data for their models, which is fantastic. So if we jump in, and we'll show you what some of these blocks look like. So a block, think of it like a tab in a spreadsheet, and what we do here is we're using in this case a dimension, which is our job dimension or our project dimension, and we can see the different what we call indicators that are being calculated. So I've got revenue, I've got cost of goods, I've got gross profit. I can expand any one of these to see the detail inside. I can actually analyze this across different dimensions. So I've got jobs here where I can see the different jobs, all the different jobs that we've imported from the data. I can look at clients. So these are the different clients that we're working with. We have multiple projects with some of these different clients. And then the core structure for me as a business is my geography. So I have 5 locations. And so I can see my historic projects and my committed projects that are running or in progress. And that runs out to the end of next year. And so I can analyze that data in different ways. I can look at I can look at different KPIs. I can look at the charts in different ways. I can look at annual summaries. So everything you need to be able to really get to grips with this data. I can jump into the dimension if I want to see the different projects that are underway in the different regions. I can look at that as a big grid of data. If I'm a finance person, I just want to see the data, show me the data. If you're an end user, you want to sort of just go to your area and look at your particular data. So this is a block. Let me jump to another block so we can show off some of the other stuff that we've got. So what we believe is we put all the inputs in a consistent place so they're easy to find. So when you're planning, I know that all my inputs are on the left. I don't have to search around a spreadsheet to figure out which one have I typed into or look for the yellow cells. So all my inputs are on the left. I can see the plan in the middle, and then I can do scenario modeling on the side. And scenario modeling is one of the other things that we've baked into the product. We see it so much. And when we're doing planning, if you really want to do a good, robust strategic plan, you want to look at different scenarios and be able to compare them. So scenario modeling is something that we've built in, and I'll show you that in a minute. So we've got different inputs that we can throw in here. So I could look at my staff entertaining budget. So for each of my locations, I can have a standard budget. So in this case, we're assuming it's £100 a month. So I could easily change that. For each of your inputs, you can give the end user the flexibility to choose how they want to type the data in, and you don't have to guess up front as a builder of the model whether they want to type it in monthly or whether they want to type it in annually. So you can give them the choice, so they can go through for sure and just type in their data if they want to in a monthly level, or they can copy that around. They can do all sorts, or you can give them the ability to adjust. What we've got in Blox is they can choose whether they want to plan like a yearly assumption, a monthly assumption, or a growing rate. So say for our training budget, for example, we've got a budget for every location of £300 a month, and we can just have say that it grows by 1.5% a month. So it just grows slowly over time, and then we can look at our training budget and see what that looks like on an annual basis quite easily. So here, so there we go. I can see what my training budget adds up to over time, and it's just growing slowly. So that's nice. So inputs are really easy and straightforward. You don't have to go back and change formulas and logic. We make it easy for the user to plug in data as they need to. The great thing with Blox as well, because it's a multi-dimensional system, you're able to plan for all of your locations in one go. So you don't have to have 5 different spreadsheets that get sent out and then sent back to somebody and then added up. So that is really powerful. The other thing is scenario planning. So we've got scenario modeling is built in. So I can duplicate a scenario anytime. I can make adjustments to my plan. So let's say that I'm looking at my people costs here for my upside scenario, and we're assuming we're going to have a really good year. So I can go and I can adjust my training budget. Maybe we're going to push this up to like 400 a month. We want to really invest in our staff. We're going to increase our recruitment budget in certain locations because we're planning to grow. We can play around with different assumptions. So that's me adjusting assumptions in my upside scenario. I can also drag some sliders. So let's say that I just want to make some sweeping assumptions of increasing the recruitment budget by 29%. I can see what that looks like, and I can reset that if I don't want it. If I want to save that, I can save that to this scenario. So we give you the ability to basically drag sliders around to see, what does the model look like? Am I getting close to the number that I think is reasonable in total? Do I want? And you can save those scenarios, those adjustments, and then I can press compare. And what that allows me to do is to compare my upside versus my baseline. And so I can look and see in any particular month or any quarter or any year the total variance across the different elements of the P&L. So I've hiked up my recruitment budget, my payroll tax is down because I must have made some adjustments in my headcount budget. So that's a built-in scenario modeling capability, which is really annoying and hard to do in a spreadsheet. You end up having duplicate spreadsheets and having to create another table which shows you the variances. And that's so if we just jump over to our location P&L, this is a really nice summary here where we can see all the data coming together. So I've got my turnover, I've got my different ratios, my cost of sales ratio, my gross profit, my people cost. So all these things are coming together. So I know for this audience, you're interested in how people are doing planning in a solution, but you're also really interested in how you actually build and customize and adjust the solution. So let's just take a quick look at that. So here in Blox, we've got the key blocks, which is where the planning happens. So these would be like cubes, but Blox is actually not an OLAP system. It works in a different way. We've got our own planning engine underneath. We've got dimensions, so you can add new dimensions very easily. You can add new items, you can add properties to your dimension, so you can build up your key hierarchies and data. So here I've got my geo dimension, and we'll adjust that in a minute. And you can import data. So you can set up imports from CSV files is normally the way we start. And then you can set up API connections to integrate and automate a lot of the data connectivity. So here I've got some examples of HR data that we pulled from a HR system, and other data. I can pull project data out again from a system, and you can suck that in and build jobs to push that data into the right place in the model. So that's all there. It's really easy to change the logic as well. So if you want to connect data from one block to another, really straightforward to do. I'll show you how. And adding your own KPIs and logic. So with Blox, we really try to make it easy for end users when they're planning, and easy and not scary for finance people to be able to build themselves. You shouldn't have to be a database expert or a scripting expert. So you can just jump into what we call the builder mode. So here I've got my builder mode, and I can see all the different indicators that we've got. So we've just cleaned up the interface a bit, just so you can focus here. I can click on any of these indicators to see the formula that's being used and some of the other settings for this one. So this is set as a currency, so I see the currency symbol, and I can see the formula here. So it's pulling data from another block. It's pulling the revenue data, and it's pulling the top-down revenue plan as well. So we've got two layers to our revenue plan, and you can look at any of these indicators and see the formula. So my ratio, simple, cost of sales over turnover. You can open it up to see the data by the different items in this block. So this block is doing everything by time and geography. So it's got this geography dimension involved, and the formula's there, and that applies across all. So if I look at our property view, we can see here all the formulas for all the indicators. So it's really easy to see what's going on in this model, in this block here. So you don't have to click around in loads of spreadsheet cells figuring out what is in E5 and working out how the model is created. You can see all the inputs, you can see all the calculations, and you can easily edit and adjust those here. So that's how easy builder mode is. To just show you a little bit of how I could build and adjust this, let me jump back. And so let's say that I want to pull my headcount info. So this is just giving me financial info at the moment. Let's say I want to pull my headcount in from my people costs block. So over in my people cost block, I had a headcount figure. So I could see how many people I've got. So to get that pulling over, all I need to do is throw in a formula. So I believe that was it's coming from my people costs, and I'm pulling it from the head count. So I just throw in a link over to that. I don't have to create a batch process to move the data from one place to another. That is now a live link. So anytime anything gets changed in the other block, it's pulling that straight across, and it's pulling it by the detail. The other thing that's interesting is the people costs block. That's got more detail in it. So that's actually calculating everything by person, and the system knows how to map data from one place to another. So we've got an employee dimension. I'll just jump and show you. We've got an employees dimension, which has all my people with salaries and location. And I've got a geo property, which tells me where each employee sits. And the system knows that that's there, and it knows that if I'm pulling data by employee, I probably want to summarize it by geo. And it gets more and more advanced as if you really want to dive in. But we make it really easy for you as a finance person, as a builder of models, to map data. So coming across from your employee cost into your location P&L, really nice and straightforward. You don't have to learn complex lookups or include statements or various other things. And that is straightforward. So here I've got my head count, fantastic, nice. And then I can add additional calculation. So let's add like a revenue per turnover per head. And nice and straightforward. So here I've got this. I can again jump over, make it a calculation, and I just start typing. I can just go, right, I want turnover divided by headcount. Really nice and easy. That's immediately being calculated across all the items in that dimension. I can quickly format it as currency. This one, I never want to add up these numbers. If I just jump back out, so my some of the sort of the things that we deal with when we're building models is thinking about, okay, how does my headcount vary over time? So my headcount is a standard thing. So when I add that up, when I roll that up, I actually just want to take the balance. And my turnover, when I add that up, I actually want to recalculate that all the way up the hierarchy. So I can just quickly adjust my roll-up type. I can have a balance. So my headcount is at the end of the year is not going to add up all the months. It's going to just take the summary. And my turnover per head is going to recalculate all the way up the hierarchy. And when I jump back out and start looking at my data as an end user would, I will see that my headcount is working nicely. So I've got 10. If I look at the annual headcount, it's 10, or quarterly, it's 10, 10, 10. And then we had some changes next year, so it drops in Q2 and then it's back up again. So that's nice, and my turnover per head is calculating an average at the top level. So those are just some of the things that we've built in. We've baked it into the system to make it really easy. So when you're building models, it's all good. That is probably everything that I show in the time I've got to just show off some of the really cool things. Just to show that scenario capability again. So here I've got my P&L. I've made some adjustments right across the entire model. I made some adjustments to turnover in some of the outer years. We adjusted our cost of sales. I made some adjustments to my people cost. And so here is a really nice example of how built-in scenario planning really helps you with your strategic planning, with actually doing what we're all here to do as finance people, is helping leaders make great decisions. We can scale the business, we can grow, and we can manage the risks around that too. You can really easily look at all the different scenarios, make further adjustments, save those to new scenarios, and really get a really good idea of the different decisions that you need to make as you're building out a plan. So with that, thanks very much. I'm really excited about some of the new things that we're coming along with too. We're going to be launching a new generative AI builder capability very soon. So I'm excited to come back in the future, Tim, when you're ready. But as for now, that's all I'll show.
Thank you so much. I've got a couple of questions for you. So in terms of the people who should you primarily take this up, who are the kind of people that is this aimed at?
Yeah. So we're aiming at a mid-sized business, mid to lower end sized business at the moment. So it's working with a finance team, working in an FP&A. They may or may not have an FP&A person in there. It might still be a finance manager, a head of finance. And it's somebody who wants to scale and be involved in planning, but they don't have a lot of time to keep adjusting and building these spreadsheet models. So you're ready to make a change to a system, and you're looking for a system that you can connect to your source data, that you can get some automation going, so you can get the actual data coming in. You can get actual data coming in and build out rolling forecasts. So you want to basically automate as much of the planning and the cranking of the engine to get the actual data in, to get the scenarios, but the baseline scenarios built out. And then you want to roll that out to different leaders in the business so they can come in and make inputs and adjustments and be part of planning. So we work, the platform itself is extremely flexible. So it can be applied to finance planning, and lots of other areas. We've got customers that are doing project modeling for an agency business, workforce planning, for some pretty decent scale businesses already. So it can be pointed at anywhere. But yeah, you're ready to embrace a system instead of doing everything in spreadsheets. But to get involved with us, we're on the lower end, on much more affordable than a typical solution. So you don't need 50K to get started with us. You can get going with a couple of users, and in a really affordable way.
What about in large companies, but a department that kind of fits onto a larger system, input or output? Would that be suitable also?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're a business unit in a larger business, you've got autonomy to spin up your own solutions. Then you can buy from us. You can pay on a company credit card. That's all fine. Pay monthly if you want to, if you prefer that model. So yeah, you might just be a business unit or a region department in a bigger company, and you don't have access. It's really common actually that you may not have access. You might have a group finance team that hold on to all the builder licenses for a software that you have. And so you want to run your own planning. You want it to be more robust than you can do in a spreadsheet. And Blox could be a great example. We've got customers that operate Blox alongside an Anaplan or a Jedox or something like that. It can fill that gap where you've still got lots of spreadsheets running around the edge. Yeah.
So how long does a typical implementation time take? And do you support implementation in that sense?
Yeah. So we offer what we call a launch package. So we can, if you send us a spreadsheet, we can build that for you and send that back to you within a week. So we can onboard you on a new model that if you've got and you just want to replace a spreadsheet and get some of the immediate benefits of scenario modeling, of easily automating actuals data coming in, rolling forecasts, etc. So that's all doable. If you're really looking for a more complex use case, then we can get involved and build out a project plan. And implementation normally takes 4 to 6 weeks on average in elapsed time, and that's affordable from us. Or we've got partners that we can introduce to do some of the process improvement, the data cleansing that often happens in and around these sorts of projects. So it's really flexible.
And also the training, how long does it usually take to just understand the system and get up and go kind of thing?
Yeah. So our standard training is 3-hour-long course. So we offer that virtually. We do that all the time to train partners and new customers that are coming on. So the standard training is 3 hours. We have a more advanced option that really goes through some of the more complex pieces. So yeah, training really straightforward. The system, we've designed it to be easy and straightforward for planning and modeling. So it's not a 2-day long painful exercise.
I know you published prices on your website. Could you just tell us a little bit about the prices and the amount of support taken?
Yeah. So the ultimate the original idea for Blox came to me a few years ago when I was helping a local charity with their finances, and so we wanted to build something which was affordable for smaller businesses, so you could get started, and something that scales. What I've seen mostly in my career, 15 years working in the EPM space, you normally need 50K to get started by the time you've paid for the software and the implementation. And that's just too high versus the cost of keeping a free, what people think of as a spreadsheet, which is effectively free, and just paying for somebody to do a few hours a month to keep that alive. So we want it to be really affordable, and so so you can get started with Blox for as little as £30 per user per month for a couple of users. The price goes up the more users you want, or the bigger the model that you want to build. So that's where we've got an affordable starting position. If you're an enterprise and you want to get started with a use case with Blox, you're looking around 10K a year. It really depends on the size, the complexity, the number of users, etc. So very, very much affordable compared to going and spending 100K with one of the large vendors, 50K with one of the typical SME vendors. So yeah, it's very affordable.
And as you said, you're basically true SaaS, and you're going to do updates. Is that going to be regular, or is that?
Yeah. So our commitment is to keep the platform always up to date. So it's true SaaS. We make updates. So we've adopted like Google has set the standard for how to continually update your product, but with the confidence to know that you're not introducing new bugs all the time and breaking things and constantly causing problems for your product. So we've adopted what's called in this world like a CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery approach, CI/CD approach. So we take care of all the updates. We typically push out a couple of updates a week, and then we switch on new features when they're ready. So we do a monthly product update email for our customers, so they can see what we're working on and what's coming. And then for key features, we'll send another update in the product when the feature actually goes live. So you'll be able to know what's coming, but we take care of all the updates. Everybody's on the same version, and it works. It really works.
Fantastic. So I believe you're going to do a few things on AI, which is really interesting for me. I've seen a lot of things happen. Could you tell us a little bit what's planned and?
Yeah. So we've been prototyping and exploring quite a lot what's possible. One of the key problem areas when you're building a model is how long it takes to actually build something, and especially if you're like doing long range strategic planning and you're thinking about, okay, what would it look like if I launched a new revenue stream, or what would it look like if I spun up a new part of the business, and that really requires modeling. Like you're gonna sit down and think, right, what would it take to start charging customers in a different way or start serving a new market? So we've been working on a generative AI builder solution. Right. So you can build a brand new block with just a few simple prompts. So all we need to know is what type of business you are, what type of block you want to build, and then we'll suggest a structure. You can tweak it and adjust it, and then you can jump into builder mode and adjust the rest. So you can build out we've thrown loads of different scenarios at it. You can build out a new revenue model for a hotel business where you're selling hotel rooms, and the model we've baked in a lot of the complexity on the top to figure out what are the key KPIs that you need in different sectors. You've got different KPIs. In hotels it's occupancy, in other places it's cost per head or various things, customer acquisition cost. So key KPIs and metrics will show up based on the context that you're working in, and it will generate a really nice starting point. And then as a model builder or a leader, that maybe we've designed it for leaders as well, to try and make it easy for this next generation of leader that's coming through, that actually they really want to play around with the numbers and build their own models. Sure. As well. So we've kind of catered for that audience so they can build, and yeah, so I'm quite excited about it. It's coming very soon.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that is you're reacting to the market, the needs very quickly, whereas other vendors might take some time before they do that. So you will probably have a feedback element from the customers saying what they would like and things like that. Are you going to do that?
Yeah. So we've got that in there, so you can chat to us in the product. It's one of the key things that I keep track of. I got in this because I love finance and I love modeling and I love helping businesses to be successful in this area. So I sit there and the chat is always open.
All right. Yeah.
And so I respond to those. Actually, yesterday I was in London responding to someone that was building a model, and he's actually around the corner. I realized he was actually not just up the road, so I jumped on a bike. I rode up. I rode across the river and sat with him for
Fantastic.
an hour and a half to
Oh,
build.
wow.
So yeah, so we're here to help. We're here. We're excited to support.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Simon, today. It was really nice. Enjoyed the demo and the questions you asked. So is anyone's interested in learning more, please contact Simon, or if you want to contact me for further information. But let's do a few more in the future, especially that AI tool that you're bringing out. That'll be quite interesting. So yeah, have a good day, and yeah, look forward to talking to you very soon.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.